Jordan, Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com. Last season, you led the nation's freshmen in receptions per game and in total receptions. Just what you can say about building off of that and having your quarterback back.
Having my quarterback back, it means a lot. You know, my freshman season being as good as it was, it just gives me a lot of momentum to just keep going and keep succeeding. I got a lot to build off of.
Jordan, from the podium here, last year you had one game in which you caught 11 passes for 127 yards. In baseball, pitchers talk about being in a zone. Is there a zone for receivers, and last year were you in that zone?
I'll say there definitely is a zone, and I feel like I was in it. You know, Kenny kept putting the ball out there, and I was just making plays for him, just making it easy for him.
How does it feel for you?
It felt great, actually, just coming in after the game and watching, and like seeing my family as happy as they was, and just getting out. It was nice.
Got a question for you that's going to be on the left side, all the way at the edge, almost towards the doors. About fourth row ups. Sir, raise your hand.
Cameron Devereaux, Demon Deacon Digest. So just taking a look at the next season, what's going to be the biggest key for both the wide receiver room and just the offense in general, just being more consistent and just taking that next step?
I believe that is a key, being more consistent and putting the ball in the end zone. You know, last season coming into the red zone, we had a lot of times where we had to take three, but I feel like this season we're going to get in the end zone and we're going to hit a lot of one-play touchdowns.
Jordan, from the podium again, you played DB in high school. What kind of advantage does it give you as a receiver now in college?
The advantage that gives is you kind of know the tendencies that DBs have. You know, watching film, you see what stance they're in, like their feet, and like if they like to press or not. Like it's a lot of things to it.
Other questions for Jordan from the floor? Jordan, hearing none, why don't we switch places with Deslin now? We'll give Deslin his 5 minutes of fame. Same routine, even though you've identified yourselves with our other two personalities, if you would reintroduce yourself with each new person that comes to the podium. And Deslin, will start to your left right here in the first row.
Deslin, Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com. What did you take away from Rashad Weaver and just what he meant to you as you move forward here? What are some of those pieces that you really think had an effect on you from him?
You know, mostly just his approach to the game, his respect for the game, you know, to do the things that he was able to do. You know, he was just, you know, every day, you know, how he watched film and how he prepared was just tremendous, you know, and it showed on the field.
We're going to stay on the left side. We're going to go about the third row. Deslin, to your left.
Bob Holliday, WRL.com, Deslin. 13 of the 14 schools return experienced quarterbacks. I don't ever remember that happening in the history of the Atlantic Coast Conference. How does that complicate preparation for defensive ends like yourself?
Well, you know, no matter who the quarterback is, you know, we still got to prepare the same way. You know, give everybody the respect they truly deserve. The ACC is a great conference, so, you know, you can never take a day off. So we'll be ready.
Deslin, from here at the podium, what's it like switching positions on the defensive line? To the casual fan, I'm sure they would say it's probably not too tough to switch positions.
It's not as difficult, you know, if you put the time in, you put the work in, you do all the little details that it takes. You know, it's just like, you know, doing your, you know, putting your shoes on or wearing your pants, you know. As long as you put, you know, the required amount of work to do it, you know, it's not that hard.
Other questions for Deslin from the floor? We're going to go all the way to the back, to the right. Gentleman raising his hand. We've had a chance to talk to him once before. Get the mic that way. Big room here. Thank you.
Deslin, John Eads with Orange Fizz. Same question I asked Coach Narduzzi. How do you think the D-line's coming along after losing all that talent to the NFL?
You know, D-line's getting stronger. You know, I keep hearing this question all day that what we lost, but, you know, what those guys did, you know, they set the foundation for us. They showed us how to work. They showed us how to prepare. So, you know, I'm very excited for, you know, what we have and upcoming for next season. You know, we got a lot of talented guys in our room, guys who are going to make a lot of plays for us this year.
Deslin, first row, hard left towards the edge.
Tyler Everett, Sports Business Journal. Deslin, can you tell me about the deals you've pursued via NIL and your approach on that front?
Right now, I'm really not, giving it much attention just because I'm trying to focus on the task at hand, which is football. Just taking a few meetings. But, if I don't get my job done on the football field, all these opportunities won't be. So, just trying to focus on that, keep the main task at hand.
Keep it on the first row right in front of you.
Deslin, being a part of Pittsburgh's defense, obviously the history of that holds a lot of weight. Just what you can say, like you said, not about what we lost, but what we have right now. Speak on this season and then kind of the overarching piece of it, which is why did you want to become a part of Pittsburgh's historic defense?
Just as you said, because of the historic defense, the guys that came before me, the guys who's paved the way, for us to be able to speak like this, even Coach Partridge preparing us all day, all that comes in hand, making the choice to want to come here and want to be part of this great historical.
Deslin, your last question here from the podium. I'm curious, you registered some really good numbers against Florida schools in your career. Is there an extra motivation for you when you play against Florida schools, given that you're from the Sunshine State?
Yes. Just because a lot of guys, I went against in high school are on these teams. A lot of friends of mine are on these teams. So it's always cool playing against, people you grew up with, grew up around. Just bring a little bit extra competitive edge, but you still prepare for everybody just the same.
Deslin, thank you. Let's switch spots with Kenny, and we'll allow Kenny for the last word here today. Probably more than just the last word, the last couple of words. So Kenny, as you get yourself acclimated, we're going to go to your left side at about the third row.
Bob Holliday, WRL.com, Kenny. I've heard Mark Richt talk repeatedly about you ruining his perfect season in 2017. That was a long time ago. You've had many years to develop as a quarterback. Describe the differences in the Kenny Pickett we will see this year versus the one that took the field in 2017.
Yeah, I would say there's a lot of differences. I was just a kid then, 18-year-old kid coming out of high school, having my first start against the #2 team in the country, just with minimum experience going into it. So I think going into my 5th year now, having a lot of experience, and I'm excited to lead this team, one more time.
Kenny, we'll go back to the front row to your left.
Kenny, Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com. Year 5, why? Why come back?
I think a lot went into it, the draft projections, and then talking with my coaches, Coach Narduzzi, Coach Whipple, seeing the team that we have coming back. I think there's an opportunity for this team to have a really special year. So I'm right where I want to be. When I made the decision, I told myself I'd be all in on it, so I'm all in and ready to go.
Kenny, right side about the 6th row. She's got her hand in the air.
Candace Cooper here, Locked on ACC. Can you talk about your NIL deal and making sure your big guys got fed? Talk about that relationship and why it was so important for you to be associated with that.
Yeah, that was very important. That was something, that started back in my high school, actually. It was a tradition at my high school. Carried it into college. Could only really do one a season, not getting paid as much, but now obviously have the opportunity to take all 6 linemen, have an extra guy going 2 with us, so we can do that, once a week during the season, throughout the entire season. So that was obviously very important for me to get done first.
Kenny, from the podium here, you have 5 fourth-quarter comebacks as a quarterback, and that's the most comebacks by a Pitt QB in 50 years. What gives? What do you attribute that to?
I'd say practice. We do 2-minute drill a bunch throughout camp, throughout spring, and just repetitions. And I have a really good feel for how Coach Whipple's going to call a 2-minute. And I understand the flow of the game and how it's supposed to go. And he handles the timeouts, and I'm just really focused about moving the chains and getting positive plays. So I would just say repetitions and practice and continuity with the guys.
Let's go back to your left, hard left on that first row.
Tyler Everett, Sports Business Journal. Just wondering if you could tell me about the process leading up to the logo released earlier this week and how you feel about that and plans for going forward as you continue to, bolster your brand and move forward on that front.
Yeah, I mean, that was just something small that I wanted to do, really just to have throughout the season and have some fun with it. Really just a small thing, but I'm focused on this season, and like I said, it feels like everybody in here, right? So I'm going to my 15th year, so have a lot of experience coming back. Excited for my last one.
Kenny, from the podium again, you have the seniority over your teammates here, and you built some pretty good rep. You're probably the only one I'll ask this question of over the next 2 days, and I'm going to put you on the spot. What's it like playing for your head coach?
We have a really special relationship, and I think it just builds over time. He has a lot of trust in me, and I have all the trust in the world in him, and he's obviously one of the main reasons I came back. If it wasn't like that, I don't think I would be here right now. So excited to have one more run with him and give it everything we got this season.
We're going to go back to Dan one last time here.
Kenny, for you nationally, do you feel that you have the spotlight that you think that you deserve? And secondly, where has your game improved the most as you step into year 5?
I'm not too concerned about the spotlight nationally and handling the media and everything. That just kind of handles itself. I'm focused on having a great year. What was the second question? Really just pocket awareness, I'd say, was something I worked on big. Pocket movement, operating from the pocket. I feel like I can do a pretty good job on the run and getting out of trouble when I need to. But obviously just taking the next step inside the pocket and making throws and being more consistent.